The Iame Cadet race coming up next, race 4 of the weekend. The first 2 finals of the weekend dominated by Zach Knight. His brother Will was in the mix as well. The first race, Will, you spun off, but then drove back to third, is that right?
Yeah.
So it's quite a big performance by you. What happened to spin off?
So I was pushing with my brother until the third lap, and then I just went for the move. But I put
on your brother?
Yeah, I put on the brakes too hard, locked up and went into the barrier.
Okay, yeah, because you don't want to knock your brother off, do you? So okay, but there was a great performance to come back to third place in the end, and then so you won that first race, and then in race 2, it was then just nip and tuck between the pair of you, wasn't it? Just talk us through that race 2.
Well, my brother's leading it for pretty much the whole race, and then on the last lap, pretty much every corner, me and Will kept on swapping and changing position, and then on the the last complex, I went on the inside. My brother tried to hang it around the outside, but I just managed to go around him.
So it's pretty competitive between you pair then. I'd like to be a fly. You go home in a van?
No.
Okay, so whatever vehicle you're in, if it all goes pear-shaped between you two, because you're really competitive, the pair of you, let's hope that... Have you ever had a tangle between the two of you in a race?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Oh, you have knocked each other right. And whose fault was that?
Mixture of both.
Yeah.
Oh, mixture of both, okay. Well, let's hope it doesn't happen this weekend. Race 4 to come, obviously great start to the championship for you. Great drive back by you to finish third in that first one, second there. So lots of points on the board, and that's the most important thing. To win a championship, you need the points. It's not about always winning races, just being consistent. But coming up, if you're going to win one race over the weekend, you'll learn this very quickly. We filmed the last race of the weekend, and that's the race where the trophies are handed out. That is the race, if you're going to win one, that you want to win. I'll ask you though, Will. He's won the first 2. Can you win the 4th one? That's the question.
I hope so. It will be quite a tough battle between us two, but hopefully I can. It will be quite a tough battle, but yeah.
Okay, well, good luck to the pair of you, and we look forward to seeing it. Well, that Iame Cadet race about to start, but let's have a look back on yesterday and the earlier pre-final today to have a look at the results. It was Zach Knight that took the win in the first race of the weekend from Aidan Hassan and William Knight, finishing third as we were discussing with him earlier. But then the third race of the weekend, the pre-final earlier today, Will Knight it was that took the win from his brother Zach and Aidan Hassan in third. Quick look at the grid positions for the Iame Cadet race then. The Knight Riders are on the front row from Aidan Hassan, Chase Fernandez, and then Craig Evans, Riley Cranham, Zane Quaker and Romeo Fernandez rounding out the 8-driver field. Here's Jake.
The Knight Riders are getting away, but Will Knight's got the better start as they charge through down the straight. Aidan Hassan's going to tuck in behind Will Knight, and as they come up to the hairpin, Aidan Hassan has slipped comfortably into second place, still with a challenge from Zach, and up into 4th position. That looks to me like Craig Evans, the 98, has come through. So a brilliant start then as the Knight Riders have been split by Aidan Hassan, and they're being chased by Craig Evans, and a couple of spins. Dear oh dear, that was started by Riley Cranham, and then unfortunately Romeo Fernandez got caught up in that. I think Zane Quaker as well. Let's have a look. So there you get the spin from Cranham, but he was assisted by the look of it by Fernandez, and then his brother Romeo goes through. So Chase Fernandez getting a little bit of a nudge there to Cranham, and then Zane Quaker and Romeo Fernandez having absolutely nowhere to go. So a little bit of a sheepish moment from Chase Fernandez as he desperately tries to make sure that nobody spotted how that one started. But they carry on, and Chase Fernandez is in front of the 18 of Riley Cranham. So battle is rejoined for P5, but that has broken the top 4 clear. The 2 Knights are now first and second. Zach has made his way back past Aidan. And so now the Knight Riders, the Dark Knights as Mark Baines calls them, are now 1 and 2. Aidan Hassan and Craig Evans are virtually brothers. They are common stablemates, having been racing each other in various different championships up and down the length and breadth of Great Britain the last year or so. They know each other very well, Aidan Hassan and Craig Evans, and this is not going to be the last time they'll duel in 2019. They race in a championship named after a famous Formula 1 driver. So let's go through up to the hairpin and come through to the right. The Knights are 1 and 2. Craig Evans, the Warwick man, who was one of the top rookies in cadet racing last year in a couple of different club championships. Craig Evans is now all over the back of the young Milton Keynes superstar, Aiden Hassan. The Knight brothers are just disappearing out in front. Will the younger just in front of Zach the elder. Oh, and a little bit of nudging between the two of them. Well, clearly they've obviously got a bit of a game plan. This is worse than Hamilton and Rosberg, isn't it? Because whoever loses does the dishes, I assume. They come into the chicane, through the left, through the right, and then back out through the left kink. You don't want to use too much of the curbs on the way out of the corner, but you can use plenty as you like on the way in. And still, Zach is all over Will Knight as the two brothers battle their way for victory. This is shades of the Christodoulou brothers in the old days of their competition in Super 1. Long time ago that, but I have a feeling we've got a similar sort of story brewing. And of course behind them, we've got another pair of brothers, the Fernandez duo of Chase and Romeo. It looks like Riley Cranham's got past Chase, so Riley Cranham back into P5, and the Fernandez brothers are now 6th and 7th. Chase in front of Romeo, and then Zane Quaker is P8. So just keeping an eye on the watching brief behind. Zach Knight just checking over his shoulder to see how close Aiden Hassan is. The thing is, these two brothers are going to be battling for the majority of the season, but Aiden Hassan is definitely a danger man. He's been very fast in the last 18 months as he has developed into a very feisty little cadet driver. He is definitely going to be a top contender for this Super 1 Series Championship. Came straight out of the box in testing and was immediately in the top 3. Craig Evans is not far away from him either. There he is in P4. You can see him there as he blasts into the left-hander. For the Knight brothers up front, though, this is very much a case of their race to lose to a certain degree. They've just got to stay hungry and stay focused. But this is essentially a MBM whitewash, isn't it? 1, 2, 3 and 4 up at the front end as they continue to charge up towards the hairpin. Will Knight still in front of Zach. Zach is close, but he's not going to do anything silly with his brother. They want to race each other. They want to battle for the victory, and they are definitely going to do that for, well, probably not just the once this season. They'll do it several times. And over the course of the race previous to this one, it was Will that got the victory, but it was Zach who got the fastest lap to the tune of 71 thousandths of a second. There's nothing to choose between these two, despite the fact that Will is slightly younger than Zach. There really is absolutely nothing to choose between these two drivers, and they are looking to make Super 1 Series their stomping ground for 2019. They come out of the final turn through the left. Mark Baines must be grinning so wide, his smile must be touching his earlobes at the moment. Here they come, Craig Evans still there in contention, just behind the top 3, 7.5 on the clock, and here comes an opportunity for Zach Knight. Fastest of all in the first sector, though, consistently through the weekend, has been the man sat in 4th place, Craig Evans. He's a little bit lighter than the 3 drivers in front of him, still very new to Super 1, don't forget, this is his first meeting. So he is getting the hang of this kart on this circuit and loves it here. He's been very strong here in previous championships. He can get around this place in under 19 seconds, and not many can, as round the outside, that is Romeo Fernandez defending from Zane Quaker. So Zane Quaker not quite able to come through. But the battle is very tight indeed, not just at the front, but also in the midfield and towards the back of the pack as well. Typical Super 1. Through the final turn and onto the main straight. 6 minutes 45 on the clock. Here we go. This is going to be an opportunity for Zach to get up the inside of Will. No, he thinks better of it. He's just threatening to put one. Oh, it looks like those two have come together now. Zane Quaker in the wall and Romeo Fernandez exiting the scene of the incident. Well, what has happened? Zane Quaker looks like he's in some discomfort, but is that just because the kart is wedged in the barriers, or has he taken a little bit of a knock? Didn't see what happened. We only saw the aftermath, unfortunately. But it looks to me as though Zane Quaker, sadly, is out of this race. So Zane Quaker will now not continue as the Knight Riders continue their charge in 1st and 2nd. They'll pass the scene of the incident. Zane Quaker, I believe, is still there, although yes, he has now been assisted by the marshals. He's not going to continue, unfortunately, but at least they've got the kart out of a dangerous position, and that's not going to bring out Battenbergs. The race can continue. Fantastic. Over the line. Zach Knight going to try again on Will. This is a fascinating battle between these two, because this is more than just teammates fighting for a victory. This is a family rivalry that's going to develop through the season. They've got 2 very fast teammates behind them in Aiden Hassan and Craig Evans, but this is sibling rivalry like you wouldn't believe. This is beyond the Schumacher brothers, because those two never raced in the same team. These guys are in the same awning, in the same equipment, run by the same chap, Mark Baines, who's got a very interesting problem with these two. They're clearly as fast as each other. And how do you separate them? Well, these two are going to try and do it cleanly. They have so far. But when you look at how closely they are running each other, they've nudged each other, they've edged each other, there's been a little intimidation, some good defending there from Will Knight. Something's got to give between these two. Zach Knight's going to pop out and get alongside. Now he's going to make the move, surely, and he does. So Zach Knight takes one to his younger brother and says, me first, I think you'll find. So now Zach Knight leads the race. Will Knight in second place. Now, as a racing driver, you always want to do better. But those two have just got to forget the fact that each of them has got the word Knight written on the back of their suit. They've got to race them like any other driver. And if they do come a cropper, well, I wouldn't want to be on the bus home, let's put it that way. Through to the left. Will Knight still giving Zach plenty of opposition now that he's managed to drop into second place. And these two are absolutely stretching the advantage now. Aiden Hassan just pumping in some good times there in third position. And let's not forget, this is Aiden Hassan's first mission into Super 1. So he's done a very good job as a novice. He's not a novice in Iame Cadet. He's done that several times in several places, hence why he doesn't run in Iame Cadet as a rookie. There is Zane Quaker's Kart, now abandoned and moved a little further back out of harm's way. And I can tell you that Zane Quaker is perfectly okay, just a little bit disappointed that his first weekend has ended not at the finish line, but obviously off on the grass. So now Will Knight attacking Zach Knight. Is he going to go for the brave move? I tell you, any driver that wants to go for that move into the chicane is very brave indeed, because there's not a lot of room to get it wrong, and certainly not a lot of room to bail out of it either. So they come through that top hairpin, down the short stretch. I love this place, Fullback. It's an amazing venue, a real speed demon's thrill. This is a great circuit. The staff are fantastic as well. Everybody's always been very welcoming indeed to me every time I've come. Now, Riley Cranham has actually slipped back, not just behind Chase Fernandez, but is in danger now of losing out to Romeo Fernandez as well. So I'm not quite sure what's happened to Riley Cranham. Has he got a developing problem? Because he managed to get past Chase Fernandez, not very swiftly, but certainly with a lot of discipline, and now you seem to have let him go, and now Romeo Fernandez is closing in on Riley Cranham. My apologies, I think it's the other way round. It's Chase Fernandez battling away still with Romeo. Romeo's a little further back. Goodness me, that's going to be confusing, with two Knight brothers and two Fernandez brothers, both in the same sets of colours, as it were. It's going to make things entertaining. 2 minutes and 30 plus the additional lap on the clock. This is Fernandez versus Cranham. Riley Cranham, who's not just been a star in Cadet, was a star in Bambino before that. Fernandez brothers coming into the 2019 season with a great opportunity. There's Aiden Hassan going through. There's Craig Evans. The gap is a bit bigger than Craig would like it to be, but you've got to build as a starting point. Here comes an opportunity. Will Knight hustling Zach Knight. He goes for the latest possible manoeuvre to get past his brother. They rub wheels. Goodness me, who would have thought this was going to be dull, with the two brothers pretty much rubbing rubber as they come through, and this time they've settled it out on Zach Knight's favour, as up the inside Chase Fernandez gets back through on Riley Cranham. A similar battle. At least those two don't have to worry about hiding in the same awning as each other. So Chase Fernandez back through on Riley Cranham. And those two battling away for P5, but Zach and Will Knight, goodness me, they left absolutely no room for negotiation there, and these two brothers are going to keep this battle flying all the way. He's tapping on this helmet now to Will. Stop racing me, stop it! Come on, I'll have you afterwards if you're not careful, and through comes Will Knight. Well, I have a feeling the next FIFA battle on their Xbox is going to be a little bit heated if these two keep this up. Here we go again, as Zach Knight back up the inside of Will. Well, this is going to be interesting. What are you doing? What are you playing at? This isn't the game plan we discussed. And now he's coming back at him. Will wants to win. He's going to make the move into the S's. Wow, this is terrific between these two. Who said that the status quo is for the elder over the younger? I tell you what, Will Knight wants to win this, and he's going to beat his brother to do it. Well, Aiden Hassan, sadly, is not quite as close to these two as he'd like to be to take advantage if they do squabble. But what if the big controversial tank slapper of the season were to be not just between two teammates, but two brothers? They're going to continue on into the penultimate lap. And it's Will Knight back in front of Zach. Zach does not seem particularly happy with the way his brother continues to respond to his advances. 2 to go. He's going to defend. Here we go. Zach's not happy, and he's going to dive to the inside of Will. Oh, this is beautiful. And he taps his helmet again. Think about this. What did we say before we got into the race? This is terrific. Absolutely brilliant. This is not just racing driver mind games, this is elder brother mind games. You're going to take a bundle beatings afterwards if you beat me. I won't let you forget this. You'll have the top bunk, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Down towards the final corners. And Zach and Will Knight having an amazing duel. Now, they've got a slight issue to worry about here because up the road, that is Romeo Fernandez. And he could end up being the thing that decides this race here as they go into the last lap. Look how close to that inside line. He's going to be from Zach Knight, absolutely hugging the inside apex. Now, Will can be smart here. He's got a good rhythm and a good run. Look, his brother's defended to the inside, but that's fine because Will's carried the speed. If he now goes for the switchback, he can get one over on his brother. But Zach Knight is not letting him have it. Will Knight comes back at him. Again, not a lot of room. Goodness me, using all the track and perhaps a little bit more to try and get alongside his brother. Now this one is going to go down to the line. Zach Knight again defends to the inside from Will. Will's got the faster line and smooth out. Will he go into the hairpin? Yes, he does. But can Zach get the undercut? No, Will Knight's chopped across. Oh, this is brilliant. And still they battle into the final few corners of the lap. Remember where you heard the names first, folks. The Knight Riders are the Brothers Grimm. And into the final turn, this could get difficult. Oh, he's got boxed in behind Fernandez. And Will Knight's got him. Will Knight's got him at the finish. Oh, Zach Knight unfortunately impeded there by Romeo Fernandez as they fought for the line. And Zach Knight has to come second best to younger brother Will. Hassan is third from Craig Evans in fourth. Fernandez just beats Cranham over the line. Post-race, the two Fernandez brothers, Chase and Romeo, are given 5-place penalties. We believe courtesy of that first lap incident with the front fairing drop down. But Will Knight beats Zach in the first weekend of the championship. It's going to be an amazing battle all season.
Will, 2 wins for you today, but just talk us through that televised final.
I started pole, got a good start. My brother passed me 5 laps in. We pushed away in the middle. We got like 4-second gap, something like that. And then I just pushed my brother through the middle of through the whole race. And then when it came to the last lap, he went really defensive for all of the corners, really. And then into the second hairpin, he just let go of that defensive line. I threw it up the inside, and then that was the race win.
How easy is it for you to race your brother in a last lap battle like that, knowing that if you go up the inside and it all goes wrong, it might be an interesting trip home? Is that difficult for you, or do you just enjoy that?
It's in the middle, kind of, because sometimes he could be really happy for me, or sometimes he's not too happy and he's really grumpy and he wanted to win.
Okay. Who do you want to thank for your win?
I want to thank my team boss, Mark. I would like to thank my parents for supporting me, my mechanic, Dan Baccini, and yeah.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
It was Will Knight that took the win in that final, but brother Zach takes the 2-point championship lead moving forward to the next meeting. Top 5 look like this. We'll be back in part 3 with more from Fallback.